Greetings and welcome to another empowering, life-changing episode of the Warrior Confidence Unleashed podcast. I'm your host, Master Coach Rich Grogan, coming to you from beautiful Palmetto, Florida. I hope you're having a fantastic day. So, my goal with this episode, like with every other one, is, to empower you, to reignite that momentum, that warrior spirit. Light that fire so you can reclaim your mojo and help you break through any barrier, anything keeping you from achieving your greatest success, your dreams, and living the life you were born to live. Sound good? Awesome. Well, for our new listeners, thank you so very much for tuning in. Welcome to the show. And for our thousands of listeners that continue, thank you so much, to come back for more. I promise I'm going to keep bringing it, baby, and giving you everything I've got to, keep you coming back, right? So this is episode number 368, and I titled this episode, Care Enough to Be Firm, Honest, and Tough. That's the sign of real love, of true love. Now, what does that mean? Well, I actually just did a Facebook Live not too long ago, last week sometime. You'll have to check that out. It's on our Facebook page and YouTube channel. Real Rich Grogan. And I'm also, I'm thinking about it here, doing a 31-day Warrior Confidence Challenge. And I started doing things on TikTok as well. So we've got less than 200 subscribers thus far on TikTok because we just started. But I've got, I guess today's, the recording of this, it's 25 days of the 31 days of the Warrior Confidence Challenge. And pretty much I'm challenging you to do something, physical or mental or spiritual or something with your family to help balance out that wheel of life every day in March. There's 31 days in March. And the reason for that? Well, if you've done something for 31 days, you kind of build up a habit, right? Yeah. And as we know, and I've talked about in the past, habits, boy, those good ones, for whatever reason, they seem to be very difficult to make, right? Yeah. However, they're difficult to make, but man, they are wonderful to live with. The bad thing is they're very easy to break. Now, bad habits, they seem to poof out of nowhere. Suddenly we got another bad habit. Where the heck did it come from? I don't know. That's just the way bad habits are. They just manifest out of nowhere, seemingly, right? And they're very easy to make, very bad to live with, and worse, they're very difficult to break. No, it's not fair. Well, life isn't fair. But that's just the reality of it. Anyway, so if you're done listening to this, listen to previous episodes, but go ahead and make sure you subscribe to all our social media pages and channels and all those things. Our handle is Real Rich Grogan. So Real Rich Grogan. So on with today's show, I got sidetracked a little bit there, but care enough, as I mentioned, care enough to be firm, to be honest, to be tough. That's a sign of true love. Now, an example, and I've just talked about this recently. Right now, I'm blessed and honored to be coaching a couple of hockey teams. And even though the hockey season is, here, it seems to never wind down. I never thought hockey was as big as in Florida as it is, but there's always seasons going on. And we just entered the spring/summer season for the high schools. And it's kind of more of a rec league of new freshmen coming up, and then kids that didn't graduate or are due to graduate, they can kind of auditions, almost like a training camp on these rec teams. And then there's also other training camps going on. Well, anyway, we had our first game the other night. And Coach Bobby Varna, big shout out to Bobby. He's an avid listener of the show. Thank you so much. Honored and blessed to coach with him because he is firm. He is tough. He is honest. But it's all done with love. So he comes in and he asks the kids right off the bat. And some of these kids, their eyes are like, whoa. He says, all right, we got any snowflakes in here? And I'm like, holy cow, Bobby, what are you doing? And he goes, because you might get your feelings hurt. And if you get your feelings hurt, well, I might not be the coach for you. And I'm like, whoa. And he's coming out swinging. Well, what he's doing is he's actually being 100% honest. And by being honest and being firm and being tough, he's setting the standards and the precedence of what he expects out of the kids. Now, he said, look, I got 4 varsity spots. There's 20 of you here. Some of you obviously, you already made the varsity. Well, nobody's ever made it, but you've had a couple years in, so you know what I expect. Well, some of the new kids. And his whole point is, I want you to be your best. I want you to give your very, very best. And he came out swinging. So after he was done, I kind of got in there and I said, all right, guys, So who was like, whoa, when you first heard Coach Bobby come out and say, are they snowflakes? Anybody gets their feelings hurt easy? And the hands started to go up. I said, just put them up there. I said, well, let me tell you something. That might be the hardest and the harshest anybody's ever talked to you. But I'm telling you, from knowing, that's that caring. That's commitment. That he cares enough to talk to you. He cares enough to push you. He cares enough to work with you. He cares enough to tell you what he expects from you. And unfortunately, that doesn't go on all the time. So being firm, now alongside being firm and tough, also very complimentary. When you're working your butt off, you're getting praise after praise, but it's earned praise. It's not false praise. To me, that's one of the worst things we can do for, well, especially a teenager or any kid for that matter, or adult, is lie to them, right? Now, we're not about tearing anybody down, not about tearing them down to build them up and all that stuff, but I am about conditioning them and helping them, strengthening them. And if they do good, they work their butt off, that's all we ask. Good attitude, good manners, good discipline, good respect, good work ethic. That's about it. You're going to get the praise. And if you don't, we're going to get on to you. But it takes a heck of a lot more from a coach, from a parent, from a leader to actually invest in, well, the players in this case on the hockey team, and wanting and helping them to get better. Seeing something inside of them that they don't see inside themselves and helping pull that out. Now, does that work for everybody? No, it does not. No, it doesn't. However, those that really want to excel, those that really want to get better, I'm telling you, we're going to help you become your absolute very, very best. So after the game was over, well, before the game, my whole speech every time is, I want you to go out there and give your absolute very best. I want you, this is talking to the hockey players, but you can apply this to anything in your life. Think about how you could apply it to whatever field you're in, as a parent or as a coach or as a leader, as an entrepreneur. Go out there, and what I tell the kids, the teenagers, you're committed in your mind, when you step on that ice, you're going to win every puck battle. You're going to beat that guy to the puck. You're going to outwork him to the puck. You're going to outskate him. You're going to work your butt off for the 30, 45 seconds you're out on the ice, and that's the average shift. Well, in the NHL, that's the average shift, believe it or not, but it is. Get off the ice, reevaluate what you did. If you did something wrong, we're going to get on to you. If you did something great, we're going to praise you. But then go back out the next shift and try and improve on what you just learned. But while you're sitting on the bench, yeah, you can communicate with your friends. I mean, I want it to be fun, but you're also watching a person play in your position in order to find out what they're doing in order to get better. So how does that apply to us in the real world? Well, if we know somebody in our field is succeeding and doing better, follow what they're doing, as long as they have good core values, honor, integrity, discipline, respect. Unfortunately, there's a lot out there that are, quote, quote, successful, but they have no moral ethics. Don't follow them. And I tell you that because when I first started off as an entrepreneur years ago, I had no idea what the heck I was doing. Matter of fact, I went bankrupt twice and had a house foreclosure, cars repossessed. I was screwing up everything. I've always played by the rules, but what I'm saying is I didn't know what the heck I was doing. So I definitely needed some mentoring and some coaching and some people that had more knowledge than I was. Well, the bad thing is when you get desperate, you start reaching and grabbing for straws, and you have no idea what straws you end up grabbing. Well, I latched on to a couple people that, let's just say they had some major integrity problems. But all I saw was, holy cow, they're succeeding. It was our martial arts academy, and they've got all these students, and man, they've got the most in our kind of region area. Well, I need to follow what that guy's doing. It just makes sense. Even though in my gut said, man, I don't trust this guy. Why are you going to trust this guy for business knowledge? But once again, we all make mistakes. That's how we learn, right? Well, anytime you go against your gut, it's kind of, I talk about being firm, being honest, and tough love. Well, I don't want to say I got lazy and complacent, but I went against being firm on myself, being honest with myself, having tough love on myself, because, well, I didn't know what to do. So I got desperate. I'm sure we've all been in a situation like that before. We think, gosh darn, what can I do? Well, this guy, I'll just follow him. Or this gal, I'll just follow her. I'm telling you from experience, when we're not tough, we're not firm, we're not honest with ourselves, we get led down the wrong path. And sometimes it's very difficult to get back on that right path. So those are some examples you can use I guess are used for when we're talking with coaching hockey players, but also from personal experience. So back to the players, I talk about, and this is kind of a mindset too, winning the puck battles, all about winning that hour or winning that client or winning that, and that's not a battle or challenge, but we can think of it that way if that's how we want to go into sales. But we're going to win this person over with our knowledge, our skills, and what we have. Or we're going to lead this person for leading our team. So that's the win the shift. And then we're talking about win the period. And then we talk about win the game. So think about how that works out. So maybe you're going to win the day, win the week, win the month, win the quarter, win the second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter in business, win the year. So apply that to your life. And maybe you're going through a hard time right now. I mean, it seems like in life, we're in one of three areas. We're either coming out of a storm, getting ready to go into a storm, or we're right in the middle of a storm. That's kind of seems the progression of life, right? We finally win this battle over, yes, and then the next one comes. Well, that's just life. That's how it is. But if you kind of go with that attitude that you're going to go in there, and I tell the kids, look, you may lose this shift or this puck battle. That's all right. That guy outworked you. What can I do to outwork him the next time? What can I do to work him the next time? And I promise, first of all, are you going to win every time? Absolutely not. I'm not going to lie to you and say you are. However, I promise you this. You go in with that attitude, that positive mental attitude, that attitude of excellence, committed to giving your best each and every time, you're going to win far more than you lose. So that's kind of the firmness, the honesty, and the true, tough love to help you be your very, very best. Now, it's the exact same philosophy that I've pretty much had my whole life, and at the Martial Arts Academy. So at the Martial Arts Academy, I was not and still am not and will never be a believer in everybody gets a trophy or everybody gets an A or everybody gets a belt. That's not honesty. Now, the younger kids, yes, we want to continue to build them up, but I'm not saying we lie to them. And if they do poorly, we tell them they did great. That's not doing any good. We got to help them and work with them and help them overcome. And it's a heck of a lot tougher. Back to, Bobby being firm and me being firm on the kids on the hockey team. That takes a heck of a lot more work to put in the time, the commitment, the investment to try and help them than it does just to say, oh, well, whatever happens, I don't care. And I've ran into and unfortunately experienced many coaches and leaders like that and teachers. They just don't care. It's just a paycheck to them. Which, by the way, I'm not getting paid to coach hockey. I'm doing it for free. But, I enjoy it. I love it. And that's another thing, kind of speaking of that, because people ask all the time. They've listened to other shows, and I'll get comments. They'll say, you always talk about doing what you love to do. How do I know what I love to do? Well, I truly cannot answer that question for you. But what comes the most natural to you, like right now talking to the camera, most people are on stage or empowering a hockey team or athletic team or, like I said, on stage in front of a bunch of leaders or entrepreneurs, motivating them. Man, that comes natural to me. I absolutely love that. Now, I know a lot of people, it scares them to death. Matter of fact, public speaking is one of the scariest things that I've read to do. People would rather die than they would give a public address or speech. Well, it's what comes natural to me. It's what I love doing. I've always had a talking problem, says my second grade teacher. Richie talks too much. Anyway, but this comes natural to me. This is something, I do these podcasts, I do help to coach the hockey team and all those things for free. I just put the content out there. Why? I think I've got something to share, and I truly enjoy doing it. So if you're able to find and it's a talent, I'm not saying I'm talented at this. I mean, I think I am. I mean, it's my God-given talent. But you find your gift or your talent, and man, utilize that. It's what comes natural to you. So, but anyway, like I mentioned, it takes a heck of a lot more as a parent, as a coach, as a leader, as an entrepreneur, to be committed to helping those around you become their very best, to see something in somebody and work to pull it out. And that's my whole goal with everything we're doing here. I'm never going to lie to you. I'm going to be firm and tough. I'm going to hit you some right hooks of reality. And that means I am not for everybody. because I will get negative feedback and comments on, well, you don't understand. My kid, he's sensitive. And I'm not mocking anybody. I get it. But my thing is, the world, as Rocky says, is not all sunshine and rainbows. It's a mean, nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are. It'll beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. It will. So we need to condition our kids, our teens, our young adults coming up, letting them know that life is tough. And Zig Ziglar once said, the tougher we are on ourselves and with our kids and those we lead, the easier we're going to make life for them. Now, none of this means we're rude, mean, disrespectful, or hurtful. That's not what any of that means. To be honest with you, when we're not firm and tough and honest, that's the most hurtful thing we could do. But we want to continue to encourage these kids to push through their fears, push through their barriers, push through to give it that little extra, to get back up and, like to say, fight one more round, to be resilient, to give it one more try. And like I mentioned at the Martial Arts Academy, and you've heard me talk about this before, those that listen often, we used real wood. Now, I cut the pieces down smaller sections for our smaller kids, but it was a real board. They had to do the technique properly in order to break through it. And why? Well, I never wanted to give false hope. I wanted them to know in their heart that they truly broke the board. And the equivalent to breaking that board would be the equivalent to knock the wind out of a much bigger person if they had to physically defend themselves. And I know a lot of locations, they use that balsa wood stuff, that model airplane stuff, and whatever. I'm not here to judge. But my thing is, I'm not going to lie to a kid. Now, could they get through it on the first, second, third, fourth attempt sometimes? Or would it take that many times? Yeah. But that built up their resilience. That built up their perseverance, that determination. And we worked with them. And I tell you what, the jubilation and the yes after they finally broke through that board. I mean, some kids would just start crying because they got through it. Parents would start crying because they got through it. Everybody's cheering. Why? Everybody's working together to help. Because, I mean, truly, I think most people in society want to see, good people want to see others succeed. It's only I don't want to go down that road, but others that wish ill will on others, they got their own problems, right? But my whole point of this was not giving up on them, because oftentimes it seems like society, we give up too early on people, and then we allow them to give up on themselves. And by doing that, we are not preparing them for what's coming. So that's why I'm not a believer in everybody gets a belt. You have to earn it. Earn every step of the way. Now, I never evaluate on athletic ability or talent. It's solely on attitude and effort. You give me that attitude that I'm going to give I always like to think attitude is the fuel for your mind. You're fueling your mind to put forth your very, very best. You're prepping the engine, baby. You're prepping it. You're ready to rock and roll. And then the effort is actually just applying and doing what you say you're going to do. Attitude and effort. And with that, and a quote that I said probably 4 times the past couple weeks in the locker room is, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. Because all the time, and I was never the most talented hockey player, baseball player, football player, martial artist, not at all. But gosh darn it, I always made sure I was the hardest worker. And I'm not saying that to brag or to boast, but I was always usually generally the smallest, shortest guy on every team I played on. So I wanted to get recognized. And I learned at an early age. How do I get recognized? I use my gift. Hyperactive, yes, but a workaholic. And that was developed growing up poor on a farm. I definitely, when I growing up, I didn't like it at all, having to shovel horse poop and bale hay and milk cows. I'm talking at an early age, 8, 9 years old. And for those that don't know, cows do not give milk. They produce milk, but you earn every drop of milk when you're hand milking a cow. So all those chores growing up, which I hated. I didn't understand why I had all these chores. And the city boys, as Dad called them, man, most of those kids, they were my kind of hockey friends, baseball friends and stuff. They didn't have to take out the trash. And if I don't shovel the horse poop out of the stalls well enough, my dad's ripping me a new one. Well, my dad was a 101st Airborne Vietnam vet, and so very strict, militaristic, and I certainly didn't understand it. But that was his whole thing. He was going to make sure that I knew that life was tough. And I never explained that. I learned later, and now I have the utmost respect for what I went through. So maybe I know I have a lot of teenagers listening to this and the show. If you've got a coach or a parent or a boss that's firm and hard on you, man, that means they care. Because if they didn't care, they wouldn't say a word. Now, you may think, gosh, they're the biggest darn jerk on the planet. Well, what I've learned, and I spent time over in Korea with martial arts and fighting and stuff, and man, it would rip me apart over there. And I'm like, gosh, dang, I am working my butt off here. And sometimes you get in a comparison. I'm working harder than that guy. Why are they getting on to me? Well, I shouldn't do that. Well, we all do it, right? But I was in my 20s back then, and I couldn't understand it. And then afterwards, one of the instructors came up and they said, keep it up. And I'm like, yes, sir. He goes, you've earned their respect. That's why they're on you all the time. And I'm like, oh. I was wondering why they weren't getting on that guy who ain't putting forth the darn bit of effort. And once again, I shouldn't judge, but you see what you see. And they said, now, here's the thing. And this was kind of the Korean philosophy. If they take time out of their day, time is the most sacred commodity, to work with you, to help you, to correct you, it's because they see something in you and they know you got the right attitude and the right effort, and you're going to be a good representation of what they say, and you're going to get better. If someone isn't worthy of their time, the most sacred commodity, because they're not showing any respect to themselves by putting forth a good effort, they're not going to waste their time on you. And I'm like, oh, okay, all right, I can dig that. So what did that do? It inspired me to work even harder. And the harder I worked, the more I got yelled at. I was like, what the heck's going on here? But I got it. But I bring all that up because, I begin wondering, what the heck, man? So once again, you got a coach, a parent, a leader, unless they're a total outright jerk, if they're taking time to help you get better, to improve, man, that's a gift. Cherish that gift. And then parents that are listening, coaches that are listening, you go about it in your own way, but seriously, commit to helping those kids. Helping those you lead, your own kids. Take the time to do it. And why don't most people do it? Well, the only word I can come up with is laziness. I know that's harsh, but that's the reality of things. So, and kind of circling back around what we talked about in the Martial Arts Academy, earning things. Heck, the kids, for the first 2 weeks, we gave them a studio t-shirt so they could feel part of the class, but they had to earn their uniform. I didn't give them a uniform right off the bat. They had to work hard to earn it because I wanted to set the precedence right off the bat that, look, nothing is given here. Nothing in life is given. You're going to do your very best and earn the right to earn that uniform. And then, therefore, the precedence was set for earning each stripe, each belt, each advancement along the way there. And I do remember we had one incident in particular. They'd come in, they'd get their T-shirt, and that'd be a part of what we call the confidence course. And the very next day, this kid who just signed up the day before in the confidence course comes in with a uniform on. And I approached the dad, and I'm like, sir, I apologize if we didn't do a very good job explaining the process, how we want the kids to earn the uniform each step of the way. That's why they wear the T-shirt. And until they've earned the uniform, everybody goes through the procedural process. And he goes, yeah, your guy told me that, but I wanted my kid to fit in, so I bought him a uniform. And I said, well, sir, the T-shirt is part of the uniform until they earn the uniform. And I said, once again, obviously we didn't explain it very well, so I apologize, but I can't allow your son to wear this uniform because, one, it's not ours, and two, he didn't earn it. And the dad says, well, I bought it, and he's going to wear it. I said, okay. I said, well, I'll tell you what. Let's call the kid off the mat. Oh, I waited till the class was over, and then I took the dad up to the front desk. I said, hey, Austin, which is my son who ran the front desk, I said, go ahead and give Mr. John Doe here a refund because we're not the right place for him. And the dad says, you're kicking me out? I said, no, sir, I'm not kicking you out. I said, but if we can't come to terms in the first week of classes, then this thing isn't going to work out. He goes, well, I bought a uniform. He's going to wear it. I said, yeah, he can definitely wear it, but he's just not going to wear it here. Now, some of you might say, well, that was rude. You're kicking the guy out. No, because I'm not right for everybody. Unfortunately, you're not going to be right for everybody. But if you don't set your principles, your core pillars, and mine are honor, integrity, discipline, respect, and every decision I make has to fall within those pillars. If it falls on the outside, there's like, well, this one time, because I'm telling you, I've done this one time so many times in the past, and guess what happens each one time? I get burnt, end up regretting it. There are so many, talking to our entrepreneurs out there, when I went against my gut and let somebody stay that I should have, just said, this, we're not a good fit. Let's just part ways as friends. It ended up biting me in the tail and was far worse. So how does this kind of relate to what we're talking about here? Being firm, being honest, being tough. Because it is tough to turn away sales. But it's even tougher when you bring in the wrong person that doesn't work right for your organization or your company or for your moral values and core values. And by not being firm and honest with yourself, you're opening up something you don't want. The same thing. By not being firm, honest, and tough with your kids, all you're doing is creating problems for them later on down the road. But of course, that all starts with us. We've got to be firm, tough, and honest with ourselves, right? Now, is that easy to do? Well, certainly easy for me to say, but no, nothing's easy to do. If it was easy to do, everybody would do it. But that's what, I hate to say that's what makes it so special, but that's what separates those that are truly successful. And I'm not talking just, money success. That's a part of it. And I recently had a chance to meet and chat with Grant Cardone. And, man, fantastic opportunity there. But he had said he knows a lot of, quote, quote, rich people, but he really only knows a handful of wealthy people. And somebody said, well, what's the difference? He said, well, rich people have money. Wealthy people have money. They have health. They have wellness. They have family. They have happiness. I was like, woo. And that's why they talk about, the Ziegler wheel of life, having all those spokes in that wheel in perfect symmetrical balance. And if you want a free wheel of life assessment, go to our website, warriorconfidence.com, and the link is in the description box. You can just click right on it, or just go right now to warriorconfidence.com. And you get the right. All you got to do is put your email address in. Bang! You get the free Wheel of Life assessment, and you can kind of assess where you're at in that Wheel of Life on those spokes of the Wheel of Life. And the 7 spokes are family, finances, health. Health is broken up in 3 categories. So it's mental health, spiritual health, physical health. Where are we at here? Friends and relationships, and your career. And you kind of give it an evaluation, and there's questions for each spoke of the wheel. And you'll find out, I think there's 10 questions, and you divide whatever number you get there by 10, and it'll tell you where you're at. And then you draw a little hash mark on where you're at on that wheel, and then you try and hopefully you got a round wheel. And hopefully that wheel has enough tread on it to get you around in life. So go there. It's, like I said, completely free. Just jump on our website, drop your email in there, and you get a free copy of the what is it? I just said it. I borrowed it from Zig Ziglar because I'm a Ziglar coach and trainer, and then I add a little special Warrior Confidence twist to it there. So it's the Ziglar Warrior Confidence Wheel of Life. So check that baby out. And while I'm talking here, I need to give a shout out. Make sure I don't forget. Our wonderful sponsors, starting with the CLA, the Connected Leaders Academy. And good friend and founder of the CLA, Jose Escobar, is a fantastic human being. Holy smokes. And the Connected Leaders Academy is just like it sounds. He connects leaders inside this academy. And he's got, my gosh, 360, I think, members now, active members, and 40-something states, 19 different countries. It's a fantastic group. I'm a part of it. I really, really enjoy it. And if it's something you want to be a part of there, the link is in the description box. You can hook up with the link. It'll take you to their website, and you can schedule what he calls a virtual coffee and maybe get hooked up with the Connected Leaders Academy. And then the second is the Beachside Blends. That's my wife's coffee and Lotus and smoothie truck. We just call it a coffee truck, but now she's serving Lotus drinks and smoothies and all kinds of other wonderful, luscious Lotus, I'm supposed to say, and succulent smoothies and what is coffee? Just amazing coffee. It's really good. But she's in the Palmetto, Florida area here, and the link is in the description box. You can go right to their website. So if you live in Florida or you're vacationing, check out their schedule, see where they're at, and hook yourself up with a wonderful cup of coffee there. And the last one is what's starting up here very soon, our own inner circle. Yes, we finally got the pieces together on this baby, and it'll be starting up soon. And that's the Warrior Confidence Unleashed Inner Circle. Yes. And it'll be our biggest focus is on helping entrepreneurs, high achievers, athletes like you out there listening who maybe have gotten stuck, feel like you've lost your mojo, you've hit a rut, and you just can't seem to get out of it. You've tasted success before. You know what it's like. You've got the attitude. You got the work ethic, but you can't seem to get refocused, and you've lost the momentum. That's what the inner circle is going to be about. Now, each member in the inner circle, I'll personally have I like what Jose talks about with his Connected Leaders Academy, virtual coffee with, and we'll talk about it. Make sure it's a good fit, just like I did with the Martial Arts Academy. I wanted to make sure every member was the right fit, had the right mindset, the right attitude, the right willingness to work, and the right, cohesive parts. So, man, this group grows and everybody's learning and growing from one another. I'm not going to have somebody in there that's going to hijack the group and mess things up. And also, excellent networking opportunity, part of the inner circle. Think about it. You're connected with other people that listen to the show, that love what they hear. Think how much you can grow your influence. Good? All right. So let's do a quick recap. What did we talk about here? Care enough to be firm, honest, and tough. And not only on your kids, but most importantly on yourself. So what does that mean? Well, be firm and tough and honest on yourself when you look in the mirror. If you don't like what you see, only you can change it. And it's not easy. I'm not going to lie to you and say it is. However, it is worth it. As I mentioned at the very beginning of the show, I've got this Warrior Confidence 31-day challenge going on. So check out those TikTok videos. Check out the videos on YouTube. And I know some of you are listening to the podcast on your earbuds, and others are watching on the YouTube channel. Make sure you drop the like in there, subscribe. 5-star reviews are great, letting others know. But also share that with someone else that you know could benefit. And then by sharing with someone else, bring them on as an accountability partner. Say, hey, I'm kind of wanting to get in a little better shape here. You're going to work out together. You're going to walk together. You're going to start holding each other accountable. Little by little. A journey of 1,000 miles starts with what? One step. So work on that one step, but I tell you, it's hard to do on your own. And that's another beauty of the Warrior Confidence Unleashed Inner Circle, or we're going to call it the WCU Inner Circle. Warrior Confidence Unleashed, WCU. You got it. Accountability is going to be a huge part of that. Plus monthly and weekly challenges, because it's hard to do alone. My workout partner, Dave, special shout out to him. Thank you, Dave. Appreciate you, man. We've been knocking this baby out 25 days in a row as of this recording. Yeah, every single day. And there's days I don't want to get up and do it. Oh, it's like my body's sore here. We've got a little bit of something. It's better than a whole lot of nothing. But you have to do it for you. So be firm. Be honest. Be tough on yourself. And that requires a great deal of discipline, right? Commitment. And boy, oh boy, the more disciplined you are, the more committed you are, the more that self-respect. You're going to start feeling better about yourself. Your self-worth is going to improve. Your self-confidence is going to improve. Before you know it, you're like, man, this feels pretty good. I want to keep this up. And that's how you build a good habit. Good? All right. So our Warrior Confidence Challenge for you out there, is share this with a friend that you know could benefit. Like, subscribe, ring that bell on YouTube, listen to the other videos, and leave a comment in the chats. Let me know what you think. Say, I'm in, baby. I'm ready to rock and roll with this thing. And then tune in daily for those TikToks, for those Facebook Lives, for those Facebook, Reels, for the YouTube Shorts, all those things. And that's how we keep that constant motivation going. All right, everybody. I really, truly cannot thank you enough for taking time out of your busy day to listen in. I love doing these things. I love doing these shows and these podcasts and these videos. But if I got nobody listening, if I got no comments, I'm going to start thinking, well, what am I even doing them for? Well, I know why I'm doing them, because I truly feel I have something to share. I want you to find out what your true gift is, and then you share that with the world. Good? All right, everybody. Well, I love you. God loves you. Please get out there and share that love with the world. And until we talk again, you get out there and do your best, and I promise you'll be your very best. Thanks so much for listening, everybody. Have a blessed day, and I can't wait to chat with you again real soon. God bless everybody. Bye-bye.